Good day, everybody. We're back. Orange bike in the background. What we're doing today is, excuse me, if you follow the channel, you know I purchased this 24 350 dual sport, the KTM, and I had put the factory plastic skid plate on the bottom of it, which for plastic, it's thick, it's heavy duty, but after a couple rides, I'm still in the back of my head, if I start riding rocky areas and that plastic would happen to hit a rock and bust, it just makes me nervous on something hitting the case. I did run in the Cherubies on my 2017, and I did bust it on a rock and blow a hole through it. And the rock didn't affect my case, but it did hit the case. So I'm going to show you what I got here to replace it to give me a little more peace of mind. All right, so what I got is the Enduro Engineering Xtreme right here. See if you can focus it up. Enduro Engineering Xtreme skid plate, rubber mounted. This was $139, I believe, on Rocky Mountain. You can get, they make a version that is not the Extreme. It doesn't come up as far. Basically, you can see the welds here. This is basically the standard plate here. Then they add this on for the extra, I believe, like $15. You get this extra protection here, which covers, I like it because it goes the whole way up over. You'll see when it's on, it protects all this water pump area. Now, I know I had bitched because I would have to remove this to change the oil on this bike. This one will also basically have to be removed, but the way this mounts on, it's 4 bolts also with a bracket you have to install from Enduro Engineering on the front. This plastic one though was just, the problem with it was you had to really push and finagle around, keep the back, have all the bolts loose and really to push and finagle around to get your last bolt in no matter where you put it in. So it was just kind of a pain. So let me show you what you get here from Enduro Engineering. Of course you get your instruction sheet, a little first step piece of paper in there that tells you to put this foam on the bottom of your frame to stop any vibration and resonance. Once you get that on, you get 4 of these matching bolts, 2 of these bolts, and 2 lock nuts. And this is the bracket they give you. This will go on in between the frame down tubes here. That will be mounted permanent, and then this is where the front of the skid plate will mount, so that if you need to remove it, you take these 2 out, and of course your 2 bolts on the back there in the factory locations. And of course you get a nice heavy duty decal. Now, one thing I want to mention is I weighed these skid plates. This plastic KTM factory one weighs 1.4 pounds. This Extreme aluminum plate weighs 3.4, so I'm throwing an extra 2 pounds on the bike for peace of mind. Now, and of course, I would imagine if you didn't get the Extreme, it's going to weigh, if you take these 2 big ears off, I'm going to say you're probably down to 3 pounds. And that doesn't include, the 3.4 does not include this little bracket or the bolts. I didn't weigh everything together. So that would give you a couple more ounces there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this bracket right here goes up here between the frame down tubes, and that's where you will put the longer bolts with the lock nuts. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on, and then we'll go ahead, and I'm not going to bore you with watching me do that. And then we'll go ahead and get the plate mounted up onto that bracket and onto the bike and see how it looks. So stand by and we will be back. All right, so I got my little bracket up in here. That's not bad putting on. It's just a little awkward with your head pipe. You know, you have to use a couple different, like you can get a ratchet over here when you're doing this one to tighten this 10 millimeter onto the bolt. Here I used a ratchet wrench. I basically used these 3 tools, 8 millimeter on the T-handle, 10 millimeter ratchet wrench, and a 10 millimeter on 1/4 inch deep well ratchet. But that's not, you know, I don't have that. That's just snug so I can move it a little bit here to get these bolts started. And don't forget, I have my foam on KTM makes it easy because the bottom of the frame is flat. So you can just fit it right on that flat area and down along. And I did put a piece, there's a crossbar back here. I put a piece on. I don't think you necessarily need to do that, but I had extra. So, because you'll use almost all of it doing that. There's little, maybe 3 inches left, 2-3 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt this up. One thing I want to show you, in the instructions, they kind of basically show you, like apparently they were going to actually ship these out with the rubber grommets not in them, or these sleeves in there, because in the instructions they show you about putting these aluminum collars in the rubber grommet, but they were already in mine when it came. So see, you don't necessarily need to put that piece of foam on that back bar, because there are 2 rubber snubbers here already on this that go against that bar. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this up here and see if I can get the bolts in. Let's do it. And I mean, they just give you the bolts. There are no lock washers, whatever. And you probably want to put some, I'm not putting any blue Loctite on here, but you may want to put blue Loctite on. So I'm going to see what I can do here. Just don't, make sure you do not cross thread them. This stuff should all go in with your fingers. If you had, installing this, if you took it doesn't take much to pop your muffler off and your head pipe. If you took that off, this install would go really quickly, because like here, even I'm finagling around this head pipe to get this bolt started. That was basically how I had to do it when I was putting that. I just want to make sure I'm at the right angle. And not cross-thread. Okay. Those 2 are started. And now this has those aluminum collars on it. The collar sticks out the back of the skid plate through the rubber grommet, and it will pop into the recess in the frame. So you'll know whenever you are there as far as that. Then it's just a matter of getting this bolt in and getting the threads lined up. That was the issue I had with the other one. It just takes, it's not that they're hard to take on and off, but it just, you waste, you know, valuable seconds and possibly minutes trying to get these freaking things lined up and so you don't strip the threads out. Man, that's awesome coverage. All right. last one's always the bugger, and plus KTM put this bolt right behind the kickstand, and you kind of have to have the bike on a kickstand to get this on. Okay. I have trouble seeing the hole back here. Basically, this one is not much easier than the stock one, because you still have to finagle around here to get lined up and not be stripping your threads out. Okay, got it. So, like I said, it's not that it's a major problem. It's not that it's a major problem. It doesn't take long, but I mean, I wasted just, what, a minute there messing around trying to get those threads perfect. Now, I'm sure once you put this on and crank it down and you have it on the bike till the oil change, that stuff will all kind of relax and get united into where it's supposed to be, so the next time you put it on, it shouldn't be too bad. Go ahead, Jim. Snug it up. Okay. These cranked in. Like I said, I still have that bracket loose so that these can kind of all suck together and get that bracket set in where it needs to be. Okay. Last little, where you at? That one's a little more than the last little nut. These you'll be better off using a socket on, because the bolt head actually starts to go into the recess and you can't use the wrench. So you'll want to use, where's my T handle? Use that to make sure it's snug. Okay, now I'm going to go in here and snug these up. I'm going to snug them up pretty good. Okay. Now, like I said, both of these skid plates require them to be moved to change the oil. Because on this bike, KTM has actually 3. They want you to take the drain bolt out directly underneath the engine. Then they want you to take out the one back here facing the back tire. And then also they want you to take out your screen bolt, which this is the only one you have access to. And of course, just like the plastic one I took off, you can't get your filter out with this on here. But, so there's the protection you have. You can see, like I said, I can't say 100%, but I'm guessing this is the standard plate right here, and then they weld the ears on for the Extreme. So, you have that. So if you had the standard plate on this, you would be able to access your filter, but you would still have to take it off to get your drain bolts. But you get all that protection if you lay it over on a rock. You get all that protection for your side case there. And there's the front, what you have on the front right there. See if you can see that bracket. There's the bracket that I put on first. And then this is what I really like about it. You have this extra ear on here on the Extreme, and it covers all of your water pump, which is freaking awesome. Because that's what I always worry about. It only takes one rock in the right place, just if you lay it over even real easy, to hit that and bust something off. So that is actually awesome. And like I said, I can't be sure of this, but I'm guessing this is the standard plate with just these ears welded on for the EX Extreme. So now if you have big feet, I don't know how far your foot sticks over your brake pedal here, but you might want to watch, because getting this plate, I mean, I don't know, your boot this may interfere with your toe a little bit, depending on how you ride. But my boot's usually just on here a little bit. I mean, I'll see. If it bothers me riding, I will have to make a cut. I would just come over here and cut a little bit of that out, clean it up real nice. So there you go. That is the Enduro Engineering Xtreme skid plate on the 2024 KTM 350 exc-f. Remember to like, subscribe, and even share if you want to. That'd be really cool. Get on your KTM, get outside, go balls out. See ya.